everyone. Welcome to Depression Quest. Um, I believe this might be sorry about that. I think it's like based on a true story or two stories. I'm really not sure. I can't really remember. It's been a while since I downloaded it. I was gonna do it like the other day, but I never got around to it. Okay, it is early on a Monday morning. You are a mid-20s human being. You have a significant other named Alex, who you are rather fond of. You have been seeing exclusively for the past few months. For the rest of your social circle consists of a variety of friends and acquaintances, some of whom you met at your day job, which is a little boring, but pays the rent. You look to be doing more with your life, as would your parents, but you're still in the process of figuring out what that means and how to go about it. You are also dealing with motivation issues that sometimes makes dealing with these things difficult. You feel like this is probably your fault, and on bad days you can feel inwardly angry and down on yourself for being lazy, but you're not quite sure how you can break it out of it or how other people deal with these feelings and seem so very functional. You spend a lot of nights fixating on thinking about this, but never seem to do anything about it other than lose sleep. It is unreasonably warm Wednesday evening. You spent the past several hours that past week or so. You found your job motivation flagging more than usual. You've been in a fog practically all day today, simply going through the motions without realizing even what you've been doing at the time. Yet time seems to be moving at half speed. You're so choked that when your boss approaches you to tell you that it's dead, you can come home early. It barely registers. As you walk home, the streets hiss from the recent rainfall. You know that your significant other will be in classes until late, another couple hours at least. You briefly consider using this serendipitous solitude to catch up on that project that you've been working on haphazardly for the past few months. As soon as you think about the work that awaits you at home, you can feel the panic creeping in the back of your brain unbidden. All you can think about is how incredibly far behind you are, and the amount of work seems nothing less than insurmountable. By the time you arrive home and change out of your uncomfortable work clothes, the stress is weighing down on you like a heavy, wet wool blanket. Your computer seems to be staring you down from your desk. You want to sit down and work, but mere thought of trying to work sends you stress levels flying. More than anything, you suddenly absolutely exhausted and feel a strong desire to simply hide in bed. Do you order some food, grab a drink, and hunker down for a night of work? I don't know why that's crossed out. Reluctantly sit down at your desk and try to make yourself do something. Turn on the TV, telling yourself you just need a quick half hour done away from work. Go out to bed, you're so stressed and overwhelmed you can't possibly accomplish anything anyway. You're depressed, interaction is exhausting, you are becoming more and more withdrawn, you're not currently seeing a therapist, you're not currently taking medication for... Okay, let's do 3. Netflix, okay. Just a half hour of TV, you tell yourself, absently grasping for the remote. You don't so much sit down on the couch as sink into it. You turn on the TV and you start going through your usual channel routine. After a few cycles of this, you realize that you're really not doing much more than dumb calisthenics. You are absently killing time. You take a clock and see that over 20 minutes have already passed since you sat down. As your self-imposed time limit creeps nearer, you become more and more anxious. You stand up and walk to the fridge, telling yourself, I'll just make a quick sandwich to get to work right after that. Can't be productive on an empty stomach, right? As you eat and start pacing around your apartment, heading past your bedroom in the process, you stop in the doorway, as if physically unable to cross the threshold. Familiar waves of exhaustion start wrecking you, and you feel simultaneously tired and panicked. You close your door and head back to the couch. It's still early, yet you tell yourself, as long as I get to work in an hour, I'll have plenty of time to be productive. As you flip channels and let CSI and Jeopardy reruns wash over you, you sink deeper into the couch, feeling at once encroached upon and sheltered by being quite literally swallowed up by it. As the second hour draws nearer, sure you find yourself getting anxious and jittery. You repeat the fridge-paced couch process a couple more times. Well, you look at the clock and realize that several hours have passed, and not surprisingly, you managed to get no work done. You crawl into bed, acutely aware of the fact that you have work in the morning, and any opportunity you have to catch up on your work, catch up on your own creative endeavors, not work. Oops, I'm bad at reading. Sorry. Okay, back to this. Today was squandered. You're feeling so that just disgusted with yourself that when Alex calls you to talk, Alex calls you to talk to you on your ride home from class, you simply say you had a really rough day at work and you're trying to rest before your shift tomorrow. She says she understands and wishes you good night, though you can't help but notice she sounds slightly disappointed. Ironically, the stress of potentially upsetting your partner compounds with the stress of not getting enough done this evening, the stress of having to go to work tomorrow. The positive anxiety in your brain melts together with your body's utter physical exhaustion. You sink into a semi-hypnagogic, anxious funk, too tired to try and work, but too anxious to fall asleep for the next several hours. Next. 8 years, large amounts. Okay, that's the same thing as last time. Alright, he has a phone with Verizon, so do I. Woohoo. Anyways, it's a mild Friday afternoon. Alex calls you from one of her classes, telling you that there's going to be a really awesome birthday party tonight at her apartment. I thought they lived together. Oh well. Tonight at her apartment that one of her roommates is throwing. You've hung out with this roommate a few times with Alex, and you get along well enough but aren't particularly close. You don't have work in the morning, and you have nothing else particular to do tonight. You're feeling the kind of run down, but you must have been fatigued most of the time lately. You mentioned that you're feeling ill because you're not sure how else to explain these feelings to someone else. And you say that you aren't sure you can make it tonight. There's a second of silence of the phone, but you can swear you can hear the sound of your partner's face fall. She tries to convince you anyway. But I haven't seen her this week, because she sounds pretty insistent that you come over. She even drops a few suspiciously hinted worded hints that you can stay over with them tonight after the party. What do you do? Why can't I ever do that? Why can't I ever do one? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna agree to go. You agree to go even though you're really not feeling social. You know it's important to Alex and you really like to see her. Seeing her does make you feel better sometimes. And you hope that this is the case tonight, even if it does mean dealing with all the usual social anxiety. The time you leave rolls around. You grab your overnight bag. Alex's apartment is a short walk away, and there are already people hanging out on the porch. You feel your chest tighten as you approach the building and try to still your nerves. You quickly find your partner chatting away with the birthday girl, and Alex immediately lightens up when she sees you. I'm so happy you came. I'm sure if you were going to make it. A young man taps her on her shoulder, and she turns back to apologize and let you know that they have something to do for the party. Alex hands you a beer and plants a kiss on your cheek before going off to deal with whatever came up. As you go and you don't see anyone else you recognize. Okay, I'm guessing I can't do one because I'm depressed, so that's just showing you what a normal person would do who's not depressed. I proceed to drink in earnest, hoping it makes you feel less uncomfortable. Clean to the back wall, sip your beer, and wait for your girlfriend to return. Put your bag out to the room, avoid the crowd in there for a while. Okay, stay in the same spot. Okay, we're gonna do 4. As Alex leaves, you are not quite sure what to do with yourself. Standing in the middle of the room leaves you feeling kind of exposed, and you don't feel ballsy enough to randomly approach any of the groups of people clustered together talking. We had a clear spot on the back wall and lean against it. For some reason, this always feels a lot more secure. You can scan the party for a familiar face or any sign of your partner and come up with nothing. Not sure what else to do, and worrying that you must look creepy just standing there watching anyone. Take your phone to busy yourself. 20 semi-tedious games of Bejeweled Blitz later, your partner returns. You spend the night with Alex, occasionally being introduced to people and nodding along with the group conversation, even if you don't participate that much. At the end of the night, hold on, guys. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, there we go. I'm on the right page again. Yep. Apparently, my pause button and all that messes with the pages a little bit. But I'm back to the right spot, sorry. Okay, at the end of the night, as you're falling asleep with your girlfriend in the crook of your arm, she thanks you again for coming. Half drunk, she confides that she thought you were going to flake out and was pleasantly surprised that you managed to come out. She says it lovingly, but you're not quite sure how you feel about that. Okay. It's a little afternoon on a muggy Saturday. Your mother has come over for a surprise visit, claiming loudly that she doesn't see you enough, so she decided to invite herself over. As you converse, she walks around your place, and you get the distinct impression that you're being inspected. So what's going with you lately? She asks abruptly, taken somewhat aback by this left fielder, and you tell her that you're not sure what she means. She repeats the question, saying that you haven't seemed like yourself lately. Just she gestures to the dirty dishes piled in the sink and notes that fact that you haven't called or visited in a while. Your reticence only seems to spur her on more. She presses you, asking if you're having problems at work or with Alex. And you begin to feel increasingly battered by her sudden, well-meaning but overwhelming inquisition. Under her question, she becomes increasingly uncomfortable. You want to be able to explain to her how you've been feeling, but the truth is you're not really sure yourself. No horrific has happened at work or with your significant other or friends or anything like that, but all the same, you can't deny that lately you felt drained, as though you're not really here. You wish you could tell your mother these things, but she hasn't been approachable about negative emotions in the past. She is the kind of person who holds the opinion that the solution to any problem is to simply try harder and maintain a positive attitude. A stance that has reared its head in past conversations when you begin to explore a subject with her. You know, she's unlikely to be understanding, and you feel the energy drain out of you when you imagine what would happen if she managed to blurt out everything you're feeling. What do you do? Okay. The subject ends fine. Okay, let's try to be honest with her anyway. You need to tell your mother how you're feeling despite initial misgivings that you have about doing so. Finding the right words for how you're feeling feels like trying to untangle Christmas lights, searching for the dead bulb in the cluttered mess. She watches you intently and audibly sighs before you can clearly articulate anything. Unfortunately, she reacts predictable. And an attitude like that won't get you anywhere. You need to work harder at getting what you want instead of sitting around feeling sad about it. Nothing good will happen unless you make it happen. She isn't angry or spiteful as she tells you this. You try to explain it's not a matter of that. You can tell that you're not getting anywhere. The frustration chokes on the words in your throat, and you give up on trying to push the subject further. You know she's giving you advice that makes sense to her and generally wants the best for you. However, she doesn't understand that it's not as simple as somehow deciding to be positive or work harder. It's that those things are viable options because of these feelings. You accept your defeat and the conversation drifts onto other subjects. She leaves after chiding you to call her more often and take better care of yourself. You sigh heavily as you close the door behind her, spending the next few hours lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Kinda not picking up shit, okay. It was a lazy Sunday morning. You are idly clicking around online as your phone rings. Sam, a coworker of yours that you're friendly with, asks how you are and makes hurried small talk with you. You typically only ever talk to him on the phone when one of you needs a shit covered, so it's slightly awkward. You're waiting for an anticipation for him to come on a short notice when he fears a conversation in a completely different direction. How do you feel about cats? He asks. Mine had a kitten a few weeks ago. I'm having an awfully hard time finding a home for the last one of the litter. You don't have any pets, right? It takes you a moment to process this new information, and you're caught off guard as he begins to earnestly try to sell you on the idea of taking the last kittens off his hand. It's just something you had specifically considered before, and it seems fairly insistent. She's a real sweetheart and really loves people. She got all her shots already taken care of, and the vet says she's as healthy as a horse. I could bring her over by your place if you're interested. You look around your apartment and try to picture a cat, and as it continues to tell you about how cute she is, you tell him that it's all kind of sudden that you don't have anything for the kitten set up here. Oh, don't worry about that. I could bring over a little litter box and food and all that since you really helping me out with a fix. It's the least I could do. I just don't want to have to put her in a shelter. You can't help but you feel like you're being guilt-tripped, but you decide to give it some serious consideration. It does go awfully lonely around your apartment, and it might feel less empty as a cat around. However, since you've been feeling so down, it might be good to take on the responsibility of a cat, even if the failure amount remains. Decline, even though you could be okay, you're not much of a cat person. Let's become the cat owner. You accept the offer of the kitten and hang up shortly after making arrangements for you for when your coworker can drop off tonight. After hanging up, you worry about if you suddenly take on a responsibility that you can't handle, and you hope you don't make a small animal suffer for it. You're not entirely sure what to expect, and you spend the rest of the afternoon researching care online and trying to think of a name. The evening rolls around, you hear a knock at your door, startling you out of reading Wikipedia entirely too hard. You take possession of a small, terrified black and white kitten and a carrier, along with everything you need to start taking care of her. You take her to your bedroom, close the door, and open the door to the carrier excitedly. She cowers in the back of it. You back off, feeling slightly defeated. You remember what you researched on introducing the kitten to a new home. Leave her alone to go mess around on her computer. Hopefully checking over your shoulder often to see if she has come out yet. She hides inside her carrier periodically, making a zerful cat house long enough for you to start worrying that she doesn't like you. But by the time you go to bed, she is curled up at the foot of it, eyeing you nervously before falling asleep. Over the next few days, you gain her trust as she begins affectionately following you around, sleeping on you, and hopping up on you anytime you sit down to do some work. Ah, that's cute. What's that? Pizza. Papa John's. I can tell by the logo. It's late Friday afternoon, and quitting time is just around the corner. A bright, clear day is giving way to still a temperate evening. You can hear your coworkers all around you anxiously making plans for their evenings and weekends, but you're really looking forward to just going home and resting after what turns out to be a very long texting work week. Just before the end of your shift, you get a call from Alex. It seems a group of your mutual friends are heading out to a nearby pub for dinner and drinks to celebrate the end of the week. They want to know if you'd like to come along. You tentatively tell her that you're emotionally exhausted from the work week, and a social outing like that would just take too much out of you today. You encourage her to go and have a good time since you know it's been a while since she's gone out with friends. But effort feels futile since you know that she isn't going to go without you. A couple of hours later, two of you find yourselves in a familiar position on the couch watching comedy shows on Netflix. A box of pizza open on the coffee table in front of you. As you look across the couch at her, you start to feel anxious. You feel bad about effectively forcing the two of you to stay in tonight. Again, while you are always appreciative of your partner's effort to take your feelings into account and help you make sure you're socially comfortable, you sincerely worry that you're holding her back from enjoying a more fulfilling relationship. Yeah, I was just thinking that. She's totally going to dump him. I feel that. While she does seem to enjoy spending time with you, the two of you sit in comfortable, almost contented silence, watching old shows you've seen 2 or 3 times before. You're in increasing fear that your relationship is becoming one-sided ways more and more heavily on you. You feel more than ever like a burden or a ward to her, and virtually impossible for you to see what value you could possibly offer to her in return. First of all, this nagging fear has made you feel more self-conscious than ever. With drawing ever inwards, you started to pull away from Alex herself. What do you do? Okay, let's ask her about the relationship. You look over at Alex, who hasn't noticed you watching her yet. You try to parse the expression on her face. You worry that it's one of sheer boredom and bare tolerance. You wonder if she's thinking about all the fun things she could have been doing tonight if she wasn't trapped on this couch with you, ordering from one of the same 3 takeout places that you always order from. A sense of disappointment her creeps over you as you picture what night could have been if you just accepted the invitation she had made earlier. I know this is a pretty boring Friday night for you. Are you really happy being with me, being like this? She turns to look at you, forehead wrinkled. Why do you ask me that so often? You feel her body stiffen and pull away from you just a little. Well, I mean, but you aren't able to try and think of an answer. Let's see. I don't know. I know it's not what you be up to. I don't know. I guess I get kind of worried you're getting bored sometimes. Yeah, that sounds right. Alex, look, if you were that the case, Alex sighs. Look, if that were the case, I would let you know. I don't think you're bored. You're more of a homebody than I am. I'm learning how to deal with that. Deal with it. You think of being in your mind. Does she see as your problem to be dealt with? You have to pick her, play a part in her mind. All your conclusions lead to your previous worry that you're holding her back. You begin thinking that the phrasing was chosen without too much deliberation, and that despite her attempting at reassuring you, the slip of tongue revealed her true feelings. As you picture how much fun she would be having right now if you had only accepted her invitation and she managed to somehow get over your reservations and anxieties, despite not knowing how you could go about that. She cuddles back up to you, thanking for putting up with me, you say, staring at the TV without actually watching it. She says in response, "Whew. It's a breezy Sunday afternoon. You follow Amanda, an old friend from school that is in town for the weekend, to talk you into leaving the house for coffee and catch up. You meet her in a small cafe and talk about what you've been up to since you last seen each other, and you can't help but feel like they're a lot more accomplished, interesting than you are while listening to them talk about their life after school. When it's your turn to brief them on your activities, you feel anxious and ashamed and give a very abbreviated version. You try to talk about your job as little as possible, and you feel incredibly boring while you describe it, despite her expression sincere interest you in your life. Amanda has known you long enough to read your mood and tone of voice. She lets ask a question while gently touching her hand, a look genuine concern in her face. What's wrong? Is he okay? Test the waters and opens up a little. Hopefully she'll understand. Well, I don't know why I can't do that. Why can't I do anything? Someone explain to me why I can't pick certain choices. First they ask what she insists on the test around chances to object. Yep. You feel incredibly anxious and put on the spot as she leans forward. You consider talking about it, but what exactly would you talk about? Where would you start? She probably just think you're complaining about nothing anyway. No one likes a whiner. You insist that you are fine and try to shift the topic to one of the mutual interests, as she seems as though she's still concerned, but she lets it drop. Later that night, you would play this encounter over and over in your mind and fantasize about what you would have said differently now that you have time to ruminate on it further. Have a moment of self-awareness when you realize your degree to which you're trying to stuff down these emotions. You get very little sleep that night. No. It's a glaringly sunny Monday, one of the few days that your brother Malcolm is in town, and it's free long enough for you to actually see each other. You have a dental appointment that day, but you make plans for him to pick you up afterward. Your appointment takes a little longer than expected because your dentist tells you that you've started grinding your teeth in your sleep to a worrying degree. Given how nearly everything in your life has been feeling enormous and stressful lately, this doesn't come to a surprise to you. It suggests that you try to reduce your stress levels and fits you for a night guard. It feels awkward and too big for your mouth, and you feel embarrassed looking at your puffed out face in the mirror with it, and you should finish up the appointment in a hurry and leave about half an hour and overdue for meeting your always punctual brother in the parking lot. You finish up quickly as possible and leave the building to scan the parking lot for your brother's car, but you don't see his old Civic anywhere. You pass by a blue Camaro and jump as it beeps at you, causing you to jump in a surprise. It takes you a moment to realize, but it's Malcolm in the driver's seat. You hop in the passenger seat and compliment him on his new ride, and he mentions that it's a perk of a promotion he's recently attained at work. He starts telling you about how much more money he's making, and his career is really taking off, and how he's starting to look at houses with his wife soon. You clutch the bag containing the night guard in your hand and feel yourself clench your teeth as you think of your coming apartment and how long it's been since you've been able to take a day off work without having to worry about them making ends meet. He's only 2 years older than you, but it feels like he's eons ahead of you in every aspect of your lives. So yes, how did your appointment go? Did you get drilled full of holes or what? It's just a shame creeps over you. Let's tell him the truth. Well, half the truth. The dentist said I'm apparently cleaning my teeth too much when I sleep. Oh, Malcolm replies, been stressed out lately, kiddo? Deciding that you don't really want to go into it, you tell him that you don't think that's the case and it's probably just a random thing. He doesn't pry further and instead begins reminiscing with you about the time you chipped a baby tooth because he accidentally knocked you over once. You go out for dinner and catch up on things, but you still feel somewhat distracted by the non-anxiety in the back of your mind. Though you enjoy your brother's company, you still feel like you want nothing more than to go home and fight for the world's tonight. It becomes hard for you to try and stuff all of your horrible feelings down and go emotionless. When someone like you, dentist, can see a fraction of what goes on inside your head, it leaves you feeling embarrassed and weak, and you hate yourself for feeling that way. You wonder if you're really fooling anyone thinking you're a normal person, and then wonder if your brother knows and is hanging out with you out of pity tonight. After he drops you off back at your apartment, you throw the night guard out. You can't stand to even look at the thing. Okay. It is early on a Wednesday morning. Lately, you've been developed a nasty habit of waking up 10 to 20 minutes before your alarm rings, and unfortunately, today is no exception. You lay in bed each minute, taking closer and closer to wake up time, pissing on a swelling wave of ever encroaching dread. Sooner you would like your alarm blares off with caustic inevitability. Blah blah blah. You frantically pound the snooze button and then retreat under your blankets as if the warmth of your comforter can shield you from the passage of time. Hold on. Okay, there we go. You almost always have a difficult rising from bed, but today that simple task seems nothing short of Herculean. After several snooze cycles, you decide that you just can't deal with the work today. You're capable of even rousing yourself from bed, let alone you going into work and having to force yourself through a day. Not to mention you snooze so many times that would be impossible to take on time anyways. I wish we could have done 2 at least, but whatever. Nice call photograph. And in spite of the fact that you know that it's your job and that you should go, you keep finding yourself every step of the way. Every time you resolve to climb out of bed and just go, your body seems to get heavier and your head gets foggier, and you find yourself unable to actually make yourself move. You grab your phone or your boss's number, hoping it's early enough yet that he won't be there, and you can just leave a message. Fortunately, after a couple of rings, voicemail picks up and you leave a message explaining that you're sick. I won't be in today. As you hang up the phone, you worry that perhaps your message sounds like a lame excuse. You hope your boss won't call or email that you to follow up with your message, but for now you're too foggy to do too much of any sort of thinking. Eventually, you fall back into a sleep that's both heavy and restless, with your kitten curled up at your feet, occasionally positioned as you toss and turn. Keyboard again, huh? Okay. When you wake up the next morning, sure feeling well rested, you actually feel more stressed out. While it's definitely nice to get a break from work, you're now faced with a new problem you hadn't considered before. You still have to go work today while you weren't having the same problems physically getting out of bed you were having yesterday. The prospect of having to face your boss after missing a day of work does not seem appealing in the slightest. You worry that your absence won't be seen as believable or legitimate, that your coworkers and boss will think you're just trying to half-assedly play hooky, or worse, you fear that someone will actually ask you what's wrong, being caught in an instance, and they make up a half-baked excuse, or worse. They'll see right through you and know quickly as your mood matching the drizzling weather outside. You know that you have to go into work, but your fear of being precise is either lazy or defective, is making you regret yesterday's decision to take the day off, and you ultimately feel worse for it. It's 2 a.m. on a Sunday and you have to work in the morning. You revel over the sickly green glow of time displayed on your light alarm clock, then let out an expressive sigh. You've been trying to fall asleep for over 3 hours now to no avail. Every time your head hits the pillow, you're overcome with anxious thoughts that wrap themselves around each other. Worries about your job lead to worries about your future, lead to worries about your very identity, and you're unable to shake them off long enough to doze off. Your eyes won't even stay shut as your mind races, though imagined scenarios going horribly wrong, when you promptly attribute to your general worthlessness. Your thoughts run too fast for you to come to be a satisfying conclusion on any one of them. Your room is completely silent, but the silence is giving way to a loud static noise rolling around inside your head. Your heart beats loudly, and your worry is beating a little too fast. You worry that if you focus too strongly on your heart racing, you'll freak out hard enough that you have a heart attack. You've been awake for work in a mere 8 hours. Oh wait, well, you have to be awake for work in a mere 8 hours, and your performance has been sagging lately, and that's what helped the situation. What do you do? Well, I can't do anything but go to computer. Okay, attic. You can see the Hug Boston, LOL. Hug Boston that owns Attic. Yeah, it's been a pre. Attic, smiley face. Attic, my mom bought me. Okay. You get out of bed and head to your. Oh, I can see the full conversation down here. Okay, cool. I'll get to that in a second. You get out of bed and head to your desk, laying in bed with nothing but your thoughts to keep you company. Makes you feel like you're going insane. The harshest of lighting coming from the screen makes you squint as you turn it on, despite how often you find yourself in this exact situation. There have been so many nights just lately, just like this. As you begin reading a news story on an online friend of yours, IMG. Like, you're laid up again, I see. Yeah, I can't sleep again. Thinking too much again. Thinking. You guessed it. Want to talk about it? Okay, it's a different conversation. Okay. You end up talking with Attic for quite some time. What kind of name is Attic? Have you been feeling? He's always been easy to talk to about personal matters. And that is security of talking online helps. Being able to rethink what you say as you type it out and check it before you send it. Helps you gather your thoughts and you find it less intimidating in a way to type it on prompt than say it out loud. I don't want to be that guy who thinks they can diagnose them because I read on a Wikipedia article. But you sounds like you might have depression. You should talk to someone about that, like a doctor. You pause. You're not sure if it's how tired you feel or being frustrated from mentally eating away yourself early in the night. But what he says rings true. Maybe you should see a doctor about this. We can do some research and see if there's a good doctor near you. It's not like you're going back to sleep anytime soon anyway. Might as well do something while you're awake. Okay, I'm not gonna deny it. Yeah, it can't hurt someone, I guess. Okay, let's find you a doctor then. Just remember, there's nothing wrong with having depression. You won't be ashamed to have bronchitis or something. So there's no reason to be ashamed if it's your brain that's sick instead. You Google on with Attic and after a bit of research and you find a doctor that's gotten really good reviews and you make note of it. You tell Attic you plan on calling her in the morning before work. You end up going to bed after that with a slight sense of accomplishment. Your kitten pads over and curls up at your feet. With the thought of maybe feeling better soon on your mind, you try not to get your hopes up as you drift off to sleep. You groggily grab the morning coffee and scoot your rapidly growing kitten off your office chair and despite her protest as usual, sit down at your desk to check your email. You notice the note you left a few days ago with the separate number on it. No, you noticed it, okay. You've been somewhat putting off calling her purely out of nervousness, but you feel like you should probably make the decision to do it or throw the note out and stop searching yourself about it. Kitten curls up in your lap as you consider what to do. Man, I can't do number 2. Are you serious? You stare at the note for a long while before crumpling it in your hand and throwing it out. Therapy is for people for new real problems, not for whiners like me. You tell yourself, even if you did think you were worth the resources, you don't know if you could actually bring yourself to down the number and say the words out loud. Somehow that would make you feelings seem that much real. If you don't call, some parts of you feels like it makes it that much easier to pretend it isn't happening at all. Or isn't happening, rather. Okay. Maybe that's the best for you think. If you could just shove it all down and try to ignore it, you can struggle through the day and hopefully someday just get over it. Opening up is painful. You're not sure if dressing all this sewage out of your mind will even have a positive effect on you. The therapist probably laugh at you anyway. Okay, I'm severely depressed. Oh my. Oh, that's not good. It's getting worse. It's a chilling Thursday night. You've gotten off work. This has felt like one of the longest days you have faced in recent memory. Even though nothing exceptional had happened, a ton of minor things kept going wrong, and coworkers had tried your patience throughout the day. You considered leaving work early, but you've already had enough absences lately on the days you feel too crushed to get by the job, to get out of bed, and didn't want to risk it. You're lost on the mind on the commute home, whatever. Your feelings of frustration both with your life and the world around you build as you run into minor noises like someone bumping into you really hard as they walk by. By the time you get home, you're exhausted, and in the moment of metacognition, you realize that if you don't snap out of it, you're probably in for a long and trying night as well. These pent up feelings aren't dying down and are eating you. You open the front door and start your apartment. An overwhelming feeling of exhaustion overcomes you, and you feel like your energy levels are low enough that you'll likely settle into a single activity tonight. What do? Don't burden anyone with your problems. Distract yourself. Okay, Netflix. Yeah, I was right. Haha. What you really want more than anything is to turn your brain off, just disappear for a while. You sink resignedly into your couch and start playing video games, but you just can't seem to focus on what's happening on screen. You cycle through a few different games, but tonight everything seems either too tedious or too aggravating for you to play for more than a few minutes. A few of your online friends invite you to play a game with them, but the prospect of having to talk, let alone cooperate with other players, with other people, seems incredibly unpleasant. You decide to give the video games a rest for the evening, though you worry that you offended your online friends and that your next conversation will be awkward because of it, giving you yet another source of stress to weigh down on you tonight. You boot up Netflix and cycle through some of your favorite shows and movies that you flag as wanting to come back to, but again, nothing seems to be able to hold your attention. You feel that you can only be described as mentally fidgety. Like there's an unscratchable itch somewhere in your brain that is becoming increasingly hard to ignore. You send off a quick text to Alex, hoping the conversation will help you out of your head enough to relax, but you know that she's in class tonight, anxious of her replying or slam. You head into the kitchen for food and come out with not so much a sandwich as just peanut butter on 2 pieces of bread. You pace anxiously around your apartment while you eat, irritated both by whatever this nerve-wracking feels and by your ability to just ignore it and unwind. Your evening is filled with how successful attempts at destruction, and you ultimately head to bed late. Health was filled with static. Food. Ooh. It's the Wednesday evening. You're visiting your parents' house for a holiday, and one of the handful of items during the year you drive to visit your old hometown. You search random people you had gone to school with around town, and whenever bumping into them, you usual short version of what you've done since graduating or exchange. You've gone through a few of these today, and they've been very aware of how much you feel you haven't accomplished. And when you were in high school, you had much larger plans, and you feel like you failed to manifest most of them. Even if you had managed to, you largely lost interest in what you thought you wanted to be growing up now. You're not really sure what you want to do, and you felt like you're lacking ambition or drive to figure it out. Everyone you've caught up with seems so much happier than you, like they've got their lives all figured out, and you've been kind of feeling like a failure by comparison. Your brother Malcolm arrives with his wife in tow shortly before you all sit down to dinner. He's been traveling for his job lately, and you haven't seen him since the day he picked you up from the dentist. Your parent hasn't seen him since before then. During dinner, all they catch up, and Malcolm talks about the amazing things he's done on the road. And one of them turns to you and asks what you've been up to since you've seen last. Oh, the same old, same old. You say nothing. You say nothing really new going on. Your mother makes a face. Oh, nothing new? How are you planning on staying at the job of yours? What do you say? Excuse yourself to the bathroom. Oh, okay. As your mother looks across at the table at you expectantly, everything inside you wants to run away. You have this conversation with her enough to know that anything you can say would either be a lie or result in a lecture. After spending a day feeling like you're a failure already, you can't really handle more of the same from your family, regardless of how the hell they mean. Actually, I'll be right back. I have to use the restroom. You excuse yourself from the table, despite not actually having to use the facilities, and head to the bathroom. You lock the door behind you and flip down the toilet and take a seat. You rest your head on your hands. You take a few deep breaths as your mind runs through a typical self-deprecating script, though you still feeling as though it's a moment of relief. Even though you love your family, you really don't feel like they don't know you at all sometimes. And this makes them exhausting to be around on nights like this. You wish you could tell them what you're feeling, that sometimes it feels like you're lost in the woods, and that if you were to drop dead in your apartment, the world wouldn't notice, and you want to make her understand that more often than not, you feel like an alien. Like there isn't anywhere in this world that feels like a place where you belong, and you have no idea how to fix it, or what to do. You wish you could find out what to say so you understand, but you end up feeling like an outsider instead. Instead, you decide to remove yourself from the situation and calm down. You couldn't see resolution attempting those things would work, and you need a moment, a space instead. You hear a knock on the door. Malcolm's voice comes through the door. Hey kiddo, you already in there? You've been in there for a while. Yeah, I was just feeling a little sick. Well, if there's anything they could get you, let me know. They're about to serve pie, though. If you're feeling up to it. Yeah, I'll be out in a minute. Malcolm is quiet for a moment. Hey, just so you know, I'm really proud of you. You hear his big footsteps walk away from the door, and you splash the water on your face before leaving to join your family. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. It's my time for my dog's insulin shot. I'll be recording for 40 minutes, and I thought it would be long over by now, so I'll be back in a little bit to finish this up. Okay, guys, I am back. I'm on a different page again. Okay, yeah, that only took 10 minutes. Okay, it's all good. I didn't spend too much time doing that, but anyways, it's a rainy night. You're hurrying through the rain to Alexa's apartment at her behest. Though your pace is quick and the rain is steadily soaking up your pants leg as you traverse the town and it's darkening your already poor mood. The call came while you were at home after a day of dealing with abnormally frustrating people. You spent the afternoon trying to unwind and get some work on your project done. Alex called and interrupted one of your try to make progress. Wait, what? I call one of your try to make progress, okay? Get frustrated at not making progress, have a hard time making progress through the frustration and repeat. Okay, loops, and you haven't fully shaken off the feeling of being annoyed with yourself yet. You knock on her door, and on the third knock, hear a voice call from further in the apartment to come in. As you cross the threshold, dripping rainwater on the way in, you notice that the lights are turned down very low in the apartment. You squint to navigate as you clutch onto your damp umbrella and end up hitting your shoulder on the side table, mumbling profanity under your breath. You barely make it out to Alex's emerging from the hallway, clad what looks to be a robe with the bare skin legs peering out underneath. Why don't you come in and warm up? She asked in her designated, slightly cheesy, sexy voice. After a beat of silence, she states more naturally, my roommates are out of town this week, so I thought it might be nice to have a little fun while they're away. You picture affection, but you're too rough to your own negative feedback loops to be in the mood right now. I don't want to tell her I'm not in the mood. Come on. Why not one or two? I don't. You start unsure of how to phrase how you're feeling in a way that it doesn't hurt her. Even at those two words, her face is falling. Alright, this is sudden, she says, clutching on top of her robe is closed. No, it's not you, She cuts you off. It's not you, it's me, alright? It's okay, I get it. She moves to her bookshelf and blows out some candles you felt and noticed. It was cheesy anyway. The hurt in her voice cuts you down to your core. She can tell she feels rejected by you, and everything feels like it's happening so quickly. You can slip into your fingers. You wish you were telepathic and could let her know exactly how you feel about her, so that she wouldn't be wounded by your own mood. This was really all nice. I just have a hard day, and you stammer, but she leaves the room, and you hear her in the bedroom door close, unsure what else to do. You sit down on the couch to wait for her to return. You feel terrible for hurting her when she clearly did nothing but good. Although you didn't want to have sex with her at this moment, you are beating yourself up for handling it so poorly. Why couldn't you find the right words to let her down gently without her thinking that she had done something wrong? Why do you have to be such a shitty partner? She emerges from her room, now dressed. Her eyes are red, but you can tell she is trying not to show it that she is crying. I actually have to do a lot of coursework, so maybe we should head home. This is kind of a dumb idea anyway, sorry. Okay, you mutter, not wanting to make things worse. A couple seconds sounds past neither as you are sure to say. From there, you leave with a quick goodbye and you curse yourself the entire way home. Yeah, I would too. I don't know why, but his girlfriend kind of reminds me of Donna from that 70s show. I'm just picturing that in my head. I don't know why. Okay, it's an early winter evening, and though it's not particularly late, the time of year has let the sky almost prematurely dark and cast. After a day just like today, you trudge home from a job you have increasingly come to hate. On this job, your misery seems to have reached critical mass, and not even shedding your rain-laden and cut-to-work clothes have helped unwind from the workday. And you collapse into your couch, blank and numb. While your job seems to be just an unpleasant reality of existence, it was a position you sort of fell into unexpectedly and never intending to work there long-term. It's getting harder and harder to keep up. While it's certainly not your dream job, you've always just sort of stuck it out of necessity before. It's become increasingly difficult to do that, though you couldn't even begin to imagine what else you could do. You find yourself face to face with the question you can't ignore it. Is your accomplishment worth the present level of misery? What do you do? Nothing good. It's like I get worse and worse each choice. You grab the TV remote, wanting nothing more than to forget all about the terrible day you had at work. You flip on the TV and let yourself get swallowed up by the couch. Or grab your laptop to surf the internet while you watch TV, paying no real attention to either. You watch a few reruns of shows you are at best indifferent towards, and a movie on TV that's a few years old, all while you scroll idly through your Twitter feed. Why would you do that? There is nothing ever on Twitter. At the end of the night, you don't really feel any better, so you just any better so much as you just feel numb. Well, it's basically what you were going for anyway. You ultimately gets late enough that you tell yourself you should probably call it a night. You beat yourself up over the fact that you didn't accomplish anything this evening, but at least you managed to forget about your job for a couple of hours. As you fall asleep, you're acutely aware of the fact that after a mere few hours of sleep, you've got to do it all again. Shoot. How the fuck am I gonna do this? It's a little past 8 p.m. on Tuesday night. You're at your computer, frustrated levels peaked, rubbing your eyes and sighing heavily. You're working on a project from a job that has you stretched to its end, trying to meet a looming deadline. And as it looks closer and closer, you are seriously doubting your ability to get it done. You're dragging your feet a little at work due to a complete lack of energy lately, in spite of wanting to do a good job. You find yourself unable to push past it and feel horribly useless for it. You slide your hands off your face, look at the screen as it beeps at you. Hey, are you there? I really need to talk to someone about something. You feel like you're going nowhere with your current task. You probably use a break. However, you know that you have a history of getting distracted and then losing motivation to pick something up again afterward. Let's answer Attic. It would be better than multitask, but whatever. If you could see the LOL answering, okay, that's the same thing as last time. You're feeling like you've hit a brick wall with your task. Someone not take a break and help out a friend. Hey, what's up? Oh, good, you're there. I just found out I got cheated on. I don't know what to do. Oh no, that's horrible. The two of them, you talk for a while. Wouldn't it be awkward if that Attic was really his girlfriend, Alex? I mean, unless that he really knows them, but I mean, I don't know. The two of you talk for a long time, and you lend a shoulder to your friend. You give him a space to rant, cry, and most importantly, to be able to voice his inner turmoil. You give him your full attention and talk to him through what his options are for the one he does next. You keep him from doing something rash, and two of you decide it's best for him to sleep on it before he does anything. Exhausted, he departs for bed and thanks you for being there to talk with him. As you close the IM window, you feel horribly sorry for your friend, but happy that you were able to help. It serves as a tangible reminder to you that you're capable of being useful to someone instead of solely being a mess that needs someone else's help. You boot up your work project and find that you're suddenly able to get some solid progress done on that night. Good. It's shining on the sleepless Thursday night. You're at Alex's apartment, wide awake in bed. She's sleeping peacefully beside you. Oh wait, he's in Alex's bed? Okay. My ex is wide awake in bed. She's sleeping peacefully. Said she fell asleep hours ago, and you feel like laying there and able to shut your brain up long enough to fall asleep. You've added the feelings of insecurity about your relationship to the rest of the noise in your head keeping up tonight. It was kind of a tense night between the two of you. You arrived after a stressed day at work and made dinner together. You barely said a word. You were stuck in your own head and hardly had time being present with her as your thoughts turned all out of the way. She feels like you're being deficient at being a good person and being yourself up mentally for each one. Wait, okay, there we go. I'm sorry, I'm losing my place. Okay, here we go. She told you could tell you. She told you she could tell you were in one of your moods. I said that she wouldn't push you, but miss talking to you as much as you two sit on the couch together. You want to tell her how much you love her, but you couldn't make the words come out right, and not sounding defensive instead. As you lay there next to her, you trace your fingers across her arm just slightly, not to wake her. You saw and explained your depression to her, and it's starting to make you feel like more and more like a secret you're keeping instead of something she simply doesn't know about you yet. It's becoming more and more apparent that she's impacting her relationship with her, and you feel guilty about this. However, you are also terrified that if she knew exactly how fucked up you are, she would leave you. You're already worried that she's only with you because she doesn't realize how terrible of a person you are yet, and you're afraid that it would be the final thing to expose you. She stirs in her seat and she squints as she opens her eyes to the confusion that comes with waking up. She asks if you're awake and then everything's okay. Let's tell her. You feel like a jerk for accidentally waking up, but you're afraid if you put it off any longer that you won't catch her trying to tell her everything there. Actually everything isn't okay. Gonna tell you something important. Alex sits up, rubbing the sleep out of her eyes. For the rest of the night, you lay side by side, holding hands, as you tell her everything. You tell her how it's more than just feeling sad sometimes, how you feel trapped in your own mind sometimes, how sometimes you feel nothing at all, and how you can't shake it off. She listens the entire time, occasionally asking questions about this or that works, or asking you to explain something further. She squeezes your hand and tells you she understands, and as she said, you didn't tell her sooner. After lying silent for a moment, the weight of what if you did hit her, you desperately want her to say something, to tell you how she's feeling about all this, but you're too afraid of what the answer would be to ask. You start convincing yourself that now she knows everything and she's going to leave. There's no way someone could deal with how you are. So how could I help? What do you need me to do? She asks. You think for a second, and the answer you come up with your despair. Honestly, don't know. I wish I knew how to fix this, but I don't know that you can do anything. I think it's something I just have to live with. She looks at you with sad eyes before kissing you on the forehead. Then I'll live with it with you. I don't know how you could possibly love me. She rolls over and wraps her arms around your neck, settling her head on top of yours. You don't need to, just know that I do. You're profoundly depressed. You are even barely functional, so I guess it's getting better. It's a Friday night. You are laying across your bed feeling pathetic. As you were leaving work tonight, a group of coworkers asked if you wanted to join them for drinks. Feeling antisocial and put on the spot, you decline, and having a habit of doing this, you are so often convinced that you are weird and terrible and that any invitation to hang out will end in disappointment for those inviting you. You never feel like you know how to act in group outings, and you feel like a total creep since it comes so naturally to anyone who isn't you. You find yourself so petrified of breaking some unknown social rule that you don't go out. However, you find yourself alone at home. Your brain has been gunning to tell you a pathetic aside you are for a night being able to just be a normal person and go out with nice people. You can't figure out why you can't just go and meet people and enjoy yourself at the same time. You're also feeling like no one would possibly want to hang out with if you really knew, because you're dull and weird anyway. You try your typical strategy and boot up Netflix to distract yourself from these feelings, but frustration with yourself builds and you realize you have to do something else with your night. Anyone else to take your mind off awful and lonely you feel right now. I need to take a drink real quick, guys. I got reading this all makes me thirsty. I think I did it. I don't want to drink because sure, drinking can help a little bit of the depression until you get drunk and pass out and wake up again, but I don't want to risk getting drunk and sleeping in and missing work. That'll cause more stress. Let's play with the cat. Nights like this, you're very glad you made the call to become a cat owner. Feeling too socially burnt out to interact with other people, you go find your cat. You get her to chase a laser pointer for a solid 30 minutes before she tires herself out. She backs over to you and collapses in a heap on your lap, purring loudly. Though initially she hated being picked up, you carry her to the computer desk with you, and she doesn't object. Setting her down in your lap, you comfortably surf the internet for a while before heading to bed. Having her here with you has a calming effect, and it makes you feel a bit less alone. What's that? That looks weird. Is it like a pot and flower, maybe? Huh. It's a cold after Saturday afternoon. You just arrived at Alex's apartment, and you're happy to finally see her after a week of absence due to your schedule not line up due to work and school. You hug her in the way, but she breaks away sooner than normal. Sits on the couch, and you take off your sneakers and lay them in your usual place right next to hers. Okay, before I read the next line, because I'm not looking at it, I bet she's in a dump room. I bet you anything. No, I was hoping we could talk about actually, she says. Uh-oh. You feel anxious at hearing those words and move out to take a seat on the couch. Your heart starts to race. This is one of those we need to talk situations. Has she finally had enough of your baggage? Did the week apart make her realize how much better things are without you? She's sitting across from me on the couch, and you can tell by the look on her face that she isn't looking forward to saying what she's about to do. And you feel your grip tighten on the couch cushion. I couldn't say that word. Okay. So she starts and she breaks eye contact and takes a deep breath, which sparks your anxiety. Things with this have kind of felt weird lately. It's like you've been really distant and I'm not sure how to take it. I guess I just want to make sure you still want to do this. I mean, she notices you gripping on the couch. I mean, I know you have difficulties with your situation. I mean, she looks at your face, seemingly searching. I don't know how much it has to do with it, or if it has to do with me, or I just want to know where I stand. She looks at you as uncertain, and you can practically see this knot of pain in her chest. You try to rein in your knee-jerk reaction to run, unsure what to say. Your mind races. You know you have to choose your next words carefully, though. There's self-depression or depression urges in your mind. You try to think it through. You try to sort out what you really want to do here. A myriad of feelings is born inside you. You just knew. Work and make your relationship with ease go closer to the experience. You still want this. You're sure you're in this for your own good. You're clearly not making her happy. You still want this. You still want this. Say whatever you can say, regardless of your concerns. Let's do with that one. She might not want to move in yet. Panic sets in and sets in hard. Your mind begins frantically darting between insulting yourself for being so horrible about relationships and thinking of the right thing to say to make her feel better. All you want right now is keep her with you to make her feel better. Even though you feel a bit selfish and dishonest, you just use a fodder against yourself instead of changing course of action. I'll find some way to start spending more time with your promise, you tell her. Tears one corner of your eyes. I know I could be really stupid sometimes, but I'll be better. I'll figure out someone to be there. Just don't go. It looks still comfortable. I know I'm hard to deal with. That this stupid brain of mine makes me these stupid things. You just start to hate yourself for saying these things, for sounding so pathetic. Just tell me what I can do to make things right. I'll do anything. Your panic escalates as the more desperate you are to find the right words for her and makes her pull farther away from you. You're verbally flailing for the right answers, and she calls them out as being platitudes. You can practically watch her slip through your fingers as you try to cling on tighter. It's as if you're watching yourself say these things, screaming, "No, stop. Can't you see how you're driving her away?" But you can't stop him before you know it. She's crying. I think we should break up. I can't do this anymore. She says it, though it doesn't feel real. You feel as though all the blood has gone from your face, and your thoughts go silent. The rest of the conversation is stilted and forced. She says she's sure and that you should go. You barely hear the door close behind you as you stand in the hall, feeling utterly empty, and you lean against the wall of the hallway leading to her apartment. Looking at the door, it doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't seem like the destination it used to, like the thing you waited eagerly behind after knocking, waiting for a beautiful face to peek around the corner, and now you feel like an alien staring at a foreign object, an impassable barrier. I knew she was going to dump him. I knew it. The reality hits you over the next few days, and you spiral into a deep low. You withdraw entirely outside of work. Your only reaction with another living creature is with your cat. You can't stop replaying the failures you made with her, and over in your head, you're wondering what could have done if you weren't such a fuck up. It's going a long time to get over her. Oh great, I'm back to being really bad. Oh god, no. How long is this? It's already almost an hour in. I thought it was going to be like 20 minutes or something. Phew. It's December. You return to your parents' house to celebrate the holidays with your family. Out the living room window, you can see a gentle flurry of snow drifting down. Got the hiccup, sorry. Down to meet the pristine blanket of white form. Yesterday's unexpected Christmas Eve snowfall. You quietly laugh to yourself at how incredibly cliche it seems. Still, as you sit down to dinner, you can't help but notice how being surrounded by family and the overly kitschy atmosphere your mom's decorations have created. If you actually may feel relaxed and almost comfortable. Your mom is running around frantically checking the oven and the stocking and just generally trying to family time it up while your dad sits at the head of the table drinking beer and laughing with your brother Malcolm, as his wife Karen is there too, whom you've always been gotten along with, and your parents even agreed to let you bring your kitten along. She's been darting in and out of people's legs and hopping on the laps all night. As you thoughtfully munch away your turkey, listening to conversations around you, and your thoughts drift back over the last few months, you think in how hard it has gotten. How hard things have gotten. Replaying it over in your head, some of your worst as well as some of your best memories. It seems like all of these things just came to a head over the past few months with a sudden flurry of relationship turmoil and professional anxiety. It's social stress, and above all, an omnipresent sense of weight that it seems you have recently become aware of. Your John of your reverie by your dad's familiar becoming laughed as some cheesy comment Malcolm made seemed to have hit its mark. Sitting at the table, you're suddenly immensely glad for the chance to be able to ignore everyone for an evening and not to struggle trying to explain yourself for once. Fortunately, everyone seems to be content with laughing at each other's jokes and discussing favorite sports teams. For a while, you think you'll be able to get through dinner without any embarrassing and personal intrusions. But no, sooner the thought crosses your mind, then our table conversation just trickles off. So how are you doing these days? Your mom asks you pointedly. It's such a simple question, and one that you seem to have answered countless times. Recently, you take a moment to collect your thoughts, and then looking up, you take a deep breath. Well, there's no doubt about it. The depression is a battle, and it seems to have taken a particular toll on you. As the days go by, you find yourself interested in less and less. You think back to your life a mere few months ago, and compared to where you are now, it seems like you just lost so much. Work has become unbearable as the thought of you juggling yourself day in and day out the job. You could just scrape enough money together to do it all again. Next day has ground your will down. Lately, your job performance has suffered tremendously. Your boss has already had a conversation with you about your absences. At this point, losing your job is not only a real possibility, it's a downright probable. Your personal relationships have deteriorated as well. While you can never describe yourself as a social butterfly, your constant flickiness or continuing withdrawal from your circle of friends has all but alienated them from you completely. Nowadays, you rarely see or speak to them, and when you do, their conversations are strained and perfunctory. You almost never leave your apartment anymore. Your detachment from the world even ended up costing your relationship with Alex. While she made every effort to be supportive and understanding, your refusal to try and manage your situation forced her to have to choose between having to constantly look over after you pursuing her own goals. As she continued to excel her program at school, and she made it very clear on more than one occasion that she was dedicated fully to education and career, and couldn't afford to be held back by somebody who insisted on being stagnant, and a subsequent split was practically inevitable. Whew, man. You never could wrap your head around the whole notion of therapy and view it as any other than invasive, refusing to admit your need for help. Your decision to try and tackle your depression on your own now seems woefully miscalculated. Your friends may be willing to listen to you at first, but over time you basically accept any of their advice simply drove them away, leaving you with little in the way of support network with nobody to vent to and an ability of unwillingness to seek help on your own. You quickly lost any desire to attempt to overcome your depression, and downward spiral seemed to compound geometrically. Poring over the events of the past few months, even now exhausting, defeating, looking at the person you were mere months ago, is almost surreal. It feels like a completely different person living a completely different life, and in fact, it's hard for you to imagine ever having had a life that was completely devoid of feeling or drive. Perspective of trying to imagine what your future holds seems like only impossible, but irrelevant and of little interest to you as your life becomes just a series of trudges from one emotional, exhausting moment to the next. You look across the table to your mother, weakly meeting her gaze before dropping your eyes to the floor. You open your mouth to answer, but no words come out. You don't even bother pretending to think of trying to say. Epilogue. We really want to thank you for taking the time to play Depression Quest. We realize it might not be the most enjoyable game you've ever played, or even the easiest, and we sincerely appreciate your involvement. Depression Quest did not have an end. There is no neat resolution to depression, and it was important to saw that Depression Quest's own resolution reflect that. Instead of a tidy ending, we want to provide a series of outlooks to make moving forward. After all we can really do with depression, just keep moving forward, and at the end of the day, it's our outlook and support from people just like you that makes all the difference in the world. Thanks again. Okay, guys, that was Depression Quest. Really powerful stuff. I don't have depression, but I have like really bad social anxiety and all that. I know how anxiety feels. I can't meet new people. I can't go into public without, getting all nervous, really shaky, really sweaty, and I stutter and all that, and I don't know what to say. I don't know what depression's like, but I know what exams is like. And you guys should share this video or share the download link of this game with other people who might have depression or wants to learn a little bit more about it.
You can do this for yourself and choose different choices to see if it has a different outcome. Maybe I don't know. Thanks for watching, guys. I know it's a really, really, really long video, but I didn't think it was gonna be this long. But at least I got it done, and yeah, I have nothing else to say. So I'll see you guys in another video.